just remember, you may have to pick these up. Anyway, welcome to the Jefferson County Post debate. We've got a pretty big lineup tonight, as you can probably tell. I'll start right into it and introduce our moderator for the evening, and it's Dr. John McGraw. I don't know if, well, from the sounds of it, most of you already knew Dr. McGraw. Just to point out something, I want to say a little bit about the doc. He was one of our county commissioners from 2014 to 2018. I started to go through a list of all of his accolades, and he said, just stop at some point, just stop, because he's done a little bit of everything, all right, and all of it very well. Dr. McGraw is, and Doc, correct me if I slip up here anywhere.
Sounding good so far.
All right, I was going to give you a little bit of course, he's an orthopedic surgeon. Spent from 1974 to 2002 in the U.S. Air Force, including active duty, Air Force Reserve, and Mississippi National Guard. Did a combat tour in Kosovo in 1999. 2007 through 2013, U.S. Army Medical Corps Reserves, combat tour in Kosovo 2009. He was in Afghanistan from 2011 to 2012, where he, I guess that's where you got the rank of colonel. All right. And retired in 2013 of the U.S. Army Medical Corps. He has been the president of the Mississippi Orthopedic Society, the Southern Orthopedic Association, American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, where he's been board of director, chair, a little bit of everything. Like I said, Jefferson County Commission 2014 to 2018, chair of the board of directors of Tenova, Jefferson Memorial Hospital from 14 to 2025. Currently, he's one of 3 team physicians for Carson Newman University Sports Medicine. He's an active elder at First Presbyterian Church in Greenville. He's the chair of the Session Prayer Committee and a member of the Sanctuary Choir and Healing Prayer Team and Missions. So I'll go ahead and cut it off there. So, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through, and I'll read you some rules here. Dr. McGraw, of course, is going to be the moderator, so he'll be enforcing these. Tonight, each candidate is going to get 2 minutes to answer each question. Rebuttals are 1 minute. And are at the discretion of the moderator. There are no rebuttals to a rebuttal. Questions answered the same as the one asked. So if you get off subject, the chances are Dr. McGraw will bring you back in to get you to focus in on the answer of that question. Candidates will get 1.5 minutes for closing statement. And candidates that are for introduction only will get 1.5 minutes. Now, what those are, candidates where it's uncontested. If you would, just please hold your applause and comments during the debate. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. McGraw right after we have the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Prayer, if we could ask Chairman Carmichael of the County Commission if he would lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight with a very solemn heart that you look after our men and women in our armed services that are overseas right now taking care of business. And I pray that you look at everybody in this room and hold favor to them, that we can all meet, intermingle, disagree, and that we can all go home as friends. And I pray that you look after everybody. And in Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
All right. If everyone will follow me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. All right. Before we get started, I would like to go ahead and introduce the two judges from District 4, parts 4 and 5, right, that are running. Judge Jeremy Ball.
Yes.
Yep. And if you'd like to say a few words, he doesn't have to debate. But,
I'll keep it very
all right.
My name is Jeremy Ball. I'm the Circuit Court Judge for Part 4, which our district is Cock, Granger, Sevier, and Jefferson. I'm also here on behalf of Adrian Ogle, who is a Circuit Judge for Part 5. She had to be in Nashville tonight. Her father was receiving an award for 48 years of public service, so that's where she is tonight. But I do bring greetings on behalf of her. I was appointed about a year ago, and it's been the greatest honor of my professional life to serve you as your Circuit Court Judge. I really appreciate your support, and I will appreciate your vote. Even though I am unopposed, I appreciate your complimentary vote. The reason I got to finagle going first is because there's actually another event in Cock County tonight that starts right now at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to go over there and tell them I'm sorry I'm late, but I got there as quickly as I could. But anyway, thank you so much for all of your support. This is a wonderful, wonderful place to serve as a Circuit Court Judge. My predecessor, Judge Sloan, won several national awards for our criminal court and civil court here in Jefferson County, and I've done everything I can to keep those going. And I was just talking with our sheriff tonight. We are most places you go, they have a backlog in criminal court. We do not have a backlog in criminal court. Most places you go, the jail is overcrowded. Our jail is not overcrowded. There are plenty of people that they build prisons for a reason. There are people that belong in jail, and we try to put them there. The other people that are going to be coming back out, we've worked really hard on reentry, and so that they are back out. When they come out, they are working a job, they are tax-paying citizens, and then we don't see them again. And so I'm forever grateful for the opportunity to serve, and I'll be grateful for your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, and with that, we'll lead right into the mayor's race. If I could have the mayoral candidates up front, and we're going to do a coin toss to decide who goes first and who gets to call. For lack of a better way to do it, we're going to go alphabetical. So I guess Randy Bales. All right, and if you get the right, in other words, if you're successful in the coin toss, you can choose whether to go first or second. All right.
Heads.
And it is tails. I'll go back. Okay. All right. And so the first question will be yours. All right. I'm going to give you the mic. You got to hold that up there. And
Mr. Brooks and Mr. Bales, sit down for just a second, because I didn't get a chance to say hi to everybody. And I got a lot of friends here, maybe a few that aren't my friends, but I really love being back in Jefferson County. I do get to come back to Carson Newman every week and work over there. And Jeremy Ball, is Jeremy gone? Jeremy married up because his wife Shelley's the dean of students at Carson Newman University, and she's wonderful. Her parents are close friends of mine and Ann. I can't sit here tonight without acknowledging something, and that is that when I heard that John Neal Scarlett had passed, it was like somebody had hit me right in the breadbasket. I couldn't believe it, because John Neal and I, we didn't always vote alike by any means, but he was one of the great treasures of Jefferson County. And so for Deborah and his children, we always miss him. And the same with Terry Dockery. Faithful, loyal, always showed up, always gave a good argument, always participated. And so in my life's honors, which thank you very much, Jeff, and just give that speech over to Ann, so she'll remember that, okay? My wife is here, and I'm passionate about some things. One is my wife, Ann. I'm passionate about my 8 grandchildren. Jake, the only reason to have children is so you can get grandchildren, I just hate to tell you. And I just am so honored that the Post has allowed me to come back and be a part of you. Now, let me warn you, I don't take lightly to breaking of the rules. And the rules are that you need to be polite and civil, and I would expect that from good Jefferson County people. Okay? So please don't make me call you out, but I will. Because one of the things that Jeff didn't say was in 2015, I was chairman of the board of counselors of the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons. That was 110 orthopedic surgeons. There has never been in the history of medicine orthopedic surgeon that was humble. And I had 110 of them out there in front of me. And I have a gavel. And every once in a while I would have to turn a mic off. And every once in a while I had to get rough. So I have that experience, but I'm not going to need that tonight, right? Because we are here to honor commitment of all these wonderful people who went from door to door, got their petition signed, have put their signs out. Is this not wonderful? Is this not what America is all about? The United States, they need to look at Jefferson County in the fact that people are concerned about our government. And we want to give these men and women a chance to be heard. We need to be polite. And I know I don't have to say another thing for you. Okay? All right? So we're going to pull. And I've got a new best friend up here. Do y'all know Sophie Swan? Have y'all ever met Sophie before? Now this is what Jeff County's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look at Sophie. She finished Jefferson County High School. She did well, obviously. Her parents both teach at Mayoral Middle School. Okay? She went to Furman University. I know about Furman because we live just on Paris Mountain right beside Furman University. She not only did well, she finished in 3 years. She's already accepted to Lincoln Memorial Medical School. And when I'm old, she's going to take care of me. This is why we run for office. This is why we want to make our county better. This is why God has given us the freedom to elect people of our choosing. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Gentlemen, I'm proud that both of y'all are willing to step up. And we've got a question. I think Sophie's going to give me a question, and I'm going to reach in here. And let's see. Who goes first? Austin? Are you first? Randy's first. Okay, good. All right, here's my question. And if you don't hear it well, then I'll read it again. Interesting. This is a real good... I did not make these questions up, but obviously these are good questions. Mr. Bales, and then Mr. Brooks. 2 minutes. This should be pretty straightforward. Are you in favor of the mayor serving as the chair of the county commissioner? 2 county commissioners here. Are you in favor of the mayor serving as the chair of the county commission? Mr. Brady.
I would be in favor of what county commission decides on that, mainly because that's their purview to choose that. I wouldn't be against it, be more than willing to serve in any capacity that I'm asked as the mayor. And that's pretty much it. It's their decision. It's not mine. So I'd be more than willing and glad to be able to do that if that's what they ask me to do.
All right. Ms. Brooks.
I'm not in favor. I think that the mayor has a veto power for a reason. That is to serve as a check and a balance, and I will not take that veto power away from the citizens. So I would refuse to sit in the chair if elected county mayor.
Okay, I don't think there's any rebuttal that's necessary really because you have 2 different positions, right? Okay, let's get another one. Okay, Dr. Swan has given me, you're supposed to go again, I think,
that's
Mr. Bales, so anyway. Y'all are cordial, you're gonna work this out fine. Jefferson County is just now getting some relief from overwhelming debt. Okay? In addition to school projects, there appears to be a new Justice Center project that is on the horizon. Are you in favor of this new project? Why or why not? You got it?
Yep.
Mr. Brooks, you understand the question?
Yes, sir.
Good.
So to study it and to figure out exactly where our needs are, if the Justice Center is needed, I'm all for it. Right now it's a matter of finding out the amount of area, the amount of space that they need, and going through that process. I'd be in favor of it, and if it's deemed necessary, and I think it probably will be, I think we ought to support the justice system and, as well as the other venues of the county.
Okay, Mr. Brooks.
Yes, it is true, just like all of our departments, we have had an influx of people come in here, and there was never a plan put in place. So we are suffering consequences of not having planned for all of this. And that's not just at the Justice Department, that's in all of our departments. So we have to address these, and the question is, can we address them without going further into debt? I believe that we can if we work together with one another and do this in a responsible manner.
Doesn't sound like we need any rebuttal. Y'all okay with that? Okay, let's keep going. That's two great questions. Two very important questions. I love this one. Can I preface something just by saying, we have a home in Hamlin County, which, by the way, my taxes went up this year, $1,017 on my little house, my little brick house. It's a nice house, but it's right there in Hampton West, you know, right beside the Aldi's, across from Aubrey's over there. We are one of the highest taxed areas of the South. You said, but we don't have an income tax. Oh, no. But we have a 9.75% sales tax. We get a little bit of that in Jeff County. We have 6.75% grocery tax. We have 7%. If you gentlemen want to go buy a new car, you're going to pay 7% on that. Greenville County, South Carolina is a very fine place to live. 6% sales tax. Grocery tax, 0. 3% on a new car. And my property tax per square foot on a nicer, larger home is lower. So we are a high tax area. Just because we don't have a state income tax does not mean that all of our citizens in East Tennessee, and I still consider myself an East Tennessean, we have a fairly high tax burden. I won't charge any extra for that. You ready, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if you need to rebut me, you can too. The property tax rate is shouldering much of the annual expenses in Jefferson County. And it can't keep up without yearly increases. Here's your question. What is your plan to address the shortfalls in the budget beyond short-term rental taxes and mineral taxes? So besides the rental taxes and mineral taxes, what is your answer and plan to address the shortfalls in the budget? Mr. Bales, you ready?
To address the shortfalls in the budget, we need to bring in good industry, good clean industry, retail, all that. But any way that we can bring tax revenue in. Businesses will bring in jobs, they'll bring in workers, they'll spend their money here in the county, and we need to push that as much as we can. I realize we've got empty industrial parks, there are rooms in industrial parks that are empty. Need to try to fill those up, but we also need to look at other areas that we can grow, and mainly the main thoroughfares. We got Highway 92, 11E, Asheville Highway comes up through there too. We need to look at those areas and see what we can do there and how we can bring industry in and entice industry and business and retail in, as well as working on our tourism and other avenues of tax revenue, besides just hitting the tax increase. I will say that we were lucky enough to go approximately 13 years without a tax increase, and maybe we should have done a little bit more as we went instead of hitting it all at once. And for that, I apologize. Thank you.
Mr. Brooks?
This is a question I get almost every single day. I'm a property owner, like many of you are, and get hit with these tax increases. So for me, the low-hanging fruit in Jefferson County is the 6 interstate exits that we have in our county. We have Interstate I-81 as well as Interstate I-40, bringing tens of thousands of people through Jefferson County every single day. I would like to see us get infrastructure out to these interstate exits, get them developed, and start bringing revenue in from people traveling through our county. And we also need to look at our zoning and make sure that we have responsible development coming in that does not have a negative fiscal impact on our county. Clearly, that has been happening because we just had a question about needing to increase some of our county services.
I don't see a reason for a rebuttal. 2 great answers. Okay. So we got 5 questions total? Just 4? I hate that. Y'all are doing a good job. Okay. Aha. Very interesting. I didn't know this was going to be my question when I made my comments. I'm glad I made my comments ahead of time. Are you in favor of the property tax cap that has been a topic of discussion with state legislatures? You understand the question? If I'm not mistaken, they have proposed 2% per year to 3 different years at a total of 6%. I see our finance director is nodding her head. I think that's right. So but it doesn't matter. Are you in favor of a property tax cap like the state is in the legislature is debating right now? Mr. Bates?
Yes, because with the proper planning, we shouldn't have to go up more than 2 cents. And that's basically the short and sweet answer. We shouldn't have to jump up more than 2% if we properly plan and we budget and we are fiscally responsible with the county's taxpayer.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes, I am totally in favor of that. That would finally force our county to sit down and start putting plans together. We hear this every 4 years that we want to put together a long-range plan, but yet it never happens. So yes, I am in favor of that. That would get our county into a position where we need to do that. And with the plan that I've outlined with the interstate exits, we can get to a place where we don't have to rely on property tax revenue for everything.
Okay. Got one more? This is very appropriate. You get to talk to your voters. What specifically makes you qualified to hold the office of mayor of Jefferson County? Mr. Bates.
Life experience. I've raised a family. I've grew up on a farm here. I've been around Jefferson County my whole life. I've traveled out of the county for jobs. I've done 7 years of finance. Currently work at Alcoa Aluminum for the past 10 years. I've worked at Old Dominion Freight Lines. I raised a family, though. I think that's the biggest one. And I've watched my kids. I've struggled because I've not always made good money. And I know what it's like to be out there and not have enough money, not be able to do, and you have to work every day, and you have to be out there trying your best to provide for your family. And I want Jefferson Countyans to have a better shot at life than what I struggled with when I was younger. And yes, some of those were my mistakes and whatever, but I want to bring industry and jobs in so that the kids growing up in this county can make a living and stay here in the county and take care of their farms and take care of the stuff that's important to the county and to the people of the county and try to keep the rural feel as long as we can. But thank you.
Mr. Brooks.
like I'm thinking many of you in here tonight, my wife and I own 2 farms, so we understand how important rural farmland is to Jefferson County. Like a lot of you, I have worked in the public. I have worked a job with the Airmark Corporation while I was building my business until my business got to a point that it could sustain myself and my family. I would like to apply that same experience with my business to Jefferson County to make Jefferson County successful. Thank you.
And certainly no rebuttal to each one's qualifications. Is that all? Okay, and you get a minute and a half.
I was told 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Well, let me get my crochet out. Minute and a half, and we'll give you 15 seconds grace period. Go right ahead.
In closing, my 12 years that I've served on county commission, my voting history shows what I'm willing to do. We took the budget down from, or not the budget, took the debt of the county down from roughly 95 million to 45 million, and we need to continue doing that. I'm here to serve. I want to ask for your vote for Jefferson County Mayor so that I can continue serving. I'm humble. My door will always be open. My phone number's out there everywhere on my cards, and I want to be accessible. I want to be there for you all, and I just humbly ask for your vote to serve for you, for your Jefferson County Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Brooks?
That wasn't for me, was it? In closing, I would just like to say I'll be on the ballot for Jefferson County Mayor May 5th. I would appreciate your vote. You're going to hear a lot tonight about all the different things that people are going to do. Good things, and I think good people with good intentions. I guess I just leave you with one thing that would be a little bit different. What matters to you matters to me. I will be there for you every single day if elected as your mayor, just as I have as your county commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. And I think these 2 fellows deserve a round of applause. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay. Jeff?
Thank you, Dr. You ready? They gave me another microphone, which was.
That's good.
All right, and thank you, guys. Let's see, all right, we're gonna move on to the sheriff's race. If I can have the candidates up front, please. Let's see. Cameron calls it, okay. All right, call heads or tails. Whoever wins the toss gets to choose whether they want to go first or second. Remember that order stays throughout the questions. Tails. Yep.
Let's tell me.
Yeah.
I just wanted them to say it. Thank you very much. All right, Tails, so would you like to go,
I'll go last. Go ahead.
first? All right.
Now, does everybody know Jeff and Sam? Let's introduce them because I know them real well, but I just want everybody to know.
We have Sheriff Jeff Coffey, who's currently a sheriff in the county. And then we have Sam Cameron, who is currently with Dandridge PD. All right.
Okay.
Any questions for you? I'll step out of the way here. I don't get in the way of sheriffs, I'm just telling you. I'm doing it.
All right. Mr. Coffey,
Yes, sir.
are you ready?
Yes.
I feel like one of those guys on TV, you know, do you choose door number 1 or not? What is your strategy for improving recruitment and retention of law enforcement officers in a competitive market? Need me to read it again? You got it?
No,
You got it?
I got it. And it is a competitive market. And I think one of the things that we struggle with is there's not a lot of people coming to law enforcement like they were. You have openings, and this is statewide, community-wide, they have an opening, you come in, you have 2 or 3 people apply. I know one department, they said they had 1 applicant that applied for their jobs. A lot of it is what we try to do is try to offer as much training as we can when we come in here and for advancement. So whenever they hire in, to know that we're going to be there to support them. We try to give them the right equipment and also the right training that's going to help sustain them. And, here we have a lot of people that come here, they get a jump start, and then they leave us and go to a bigger department, and that's going to happen. But if we can help that and have them here for a little while to serve our citizens with the correct training.
I think I'll use this.
There you go.
I would propose civil service for the sheriff's department. Civil service is maybe I will use this other one. Civil service would have to be voted on by a 2/3 party of the county commission, though. Civil service kind of provides guidelines, qualifications for each position. There would be a board for hiring, a board for appeals, a board for promotions. I know one of the biggest things I hear out here every day is the good old boy system. And I think civil service helps eliminate some of that good old boy system. You're having to share some of your power with a board. And I think that is imperative because without civil service, what normally happens, I've seen it, a new sheriff gets elected, they wipe out the top. Maybe not all the officers. Theoretically, they could, kind of like in the movie Walk and Talk, but usually the top goes. And what that does, it creates a system where the officers starting out who want to spend their whole career here, why would you? If 4 to 8 years, maybe a new guy gets elected and all that work you did to get to the top is gone. So I would push for civil service for Jefferson County.
Okay, I didn't hear any specific reason for rebuttal, so we'll have those two differences of opinion. Let's go to question number 2. Okay, Mr. Coffey, what investments in equipment, training, and technology do you believe are the most urgent?
A lot of them we've already addressed through a grant, and we accessed some computer over at Carson Newman, created a computer lab. Our biggest threat and danger is computer crimes. Just in this last year, in the last 15 months, we assigned a deputy or investigator to the Internet Crimes Against Children. We arrested 15 individuals for child pornography inside our county. But if you look at it, everybody's got a small computer in your pocket. If you've got a cell phone, you can do everything on that cell phone you could do on a computer 10 years ago. So it's easy, accessible. So some of those things that we've done, we want to expand on is all these robocalls and the people that are getting victims of fraud. There's got to be some way that we can try to figure out how to find these people, because we have hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of 2 or 3 years where people are scammed. And I wish there was a better way to investigate those, and that's something that we want to just keep moving forward, is try to find some way to interact with that and try to identify these people. But it's hard because a lot of these people that are doing this are from overseas, and there's kind of a roadblock there. But I'd like to try to find a way to where we could pursue those people.
Okay, Mr. Cameron, you heard the question?
Yes.
Got it? Good. Okay.
I agree with the sheriff on computer crimes as a growing thing. There's more and more of it happening every day. There's no question about it. What I don't agree on is the computer crime lab. It has $1 million operating budget. Right now, I understand it's being funded by grant money. Is that correct? That's great. It's a nice facility. I've toured it. They've done an excellent job with it. I just don't think it warrants the cost when we can go to another agency and get the same thing for a lesser price.
Yeah, I think, if you can give us a minute.
And, and I've heard that in the last several weeks. Aaron Yarnell is a captain at the Knox County Sheriff's Office. He's over there computer forensic. He said, use my name. And this is something that's been out there. We can go to Knox County. We can go to THP to do this. These crimes are on the rise everywhere. Captain Yardnell told me the other day that they have 60 phones sitting there waiting to be downloaded. And he's got 4 texts going wide open. And he stays right around 50 to 60 phones backlogged. So when I call him that we've got phones, alone with the Internet Crimes Against Children, there was 91 devices done in the last few months. THP, Criminal Investigation Division, we've used them in the past. I've talked to them. He said, there's no way. We have so many now, so there is no going to other agencies. And furthermore, we just got information from the feds that they want to fully fund this project, and they want to put 2 more across the state because there's so much success.
Thank you, Mr. Coffey. I don't know about y'all, I'm learning a lot. Y'all learning something? I appreciate these fellows debating like this because I'm learning. Thank you, both of you. We got another question for you. Very appropriate question. What changes, if any, are needed in jail operations and inmate rehabilitation? Let me read that one more time. Got it? What changes, if any, are needed in jail operations and inmate rehabilitation? Mr. Coffey.
I think a lot of it is the professionals that's able to do that. We were one of the first jails in the state of Tennessee to offer a MATS program, and we've been doing this for several years. It's medically assisted treatment. For those that are under addiction can come in, and they're controlled delivery for those to help them to get over the addiction. Because if we've seen the heroin epidemic, and to come off that is very devastating. These inmates out here are sick. So one of the things is to come in, give them this dose, trying to keep them along, and giving them services and trying to rehabilitate them and supporting them. But one of the downfalls, and there's a lot of other jails across the state that are doing this, is we can give them treatment, we can have people work with them, but when they walk out the door, and that's one of the problems that we have. If they're on probation, the judge or parole, a judge can kind of keep a little bit of a noose on them to make sure they comply with staying off the drugs. But that, that's the biggest thing. You want to try to give them that head start to get off of it. Because if you see these people come into our jail, and prior to this, I mean, it's not a pleasant thing to look at. So if we could have some advancements in that and working with legislators till once we get here, we can get them rehabilitated. Because we don't want them back there. We want to do everything that we can to get them off that. And when they get back on the street, because 90% of the crimes are related to drugs. They're either going to steal, rob, or whatever they can to get the money. Because now the cost of drugs on the street is enormous. Since Mr. Trump went into office and shut the border down, we had people buying ounces of drug for $350. That same amount's about $1,400 now. So it's harder to get.
Okay. Mr. Cameron, same question to you.
Can you read that to me one more time?
I certainly can, I think. Thank you, Sophie. What changes, if any, are needed in jail operations and inmate rehabilitation?
Jail operations, I would say there's a huge turnover rate within the correctional positions that, I don't know if the number's true or not, but one person told me there was like 30 within 6 months. Obviously, if you take the time and the money to train that many people, you're losing them. Then you're gonna have to turn around and train them again. So you have to develop some kind of stability with your employees there in the correctional facility. I do know the annex had been closed down, and we lost, I think, 8 positions from that, 7 or 8 positions from that. So, we just totally lost those positions. And those positions was moved salary-wise towards some of the others, and I think maybe some administrative positions have been created. But I feel like those positions should have been kept. I think there's several county commissioners here. If you go to county commission and try to get money for people, it's like pulling teeth sometimes, and I understand the tax rate is real tight right now, but I feel as far as the staff goes, you got to figure out a way to keep the staff to where the county is not spending tons of money replacing officers with training. As far as rehabilitation, I've talked to several people who offered some ministries in the jail, and they said some of that has been cut down a little bit. I would like to see some of that put back and increased a little bit. I think it's good. I talked to one of the Cott County guys over his jail, and he suggested that it was positive. I think he showed a 33% reduction recidivism is what he said. So that's what I would do.
Okay, good. We got one more question. Two more questions. All right. I'm glad I got Dr. Swan up here keeping me straight. What qualifications would you bring to the office of sheriff that are unique to you individually? What qualifications would you bring to the office of sheriff that are unique to you?
All right, I don't fully understand that, but.
I read it again.
We'll
You
give
need me to read it again?
Well, no, I've seen her, heard you 2 or 3 times. I could just tell you, experience. I've had nearly 35 years of law enforcement experience. A lot of it is just dealing with people and learning to listen to people. I've done a lot of things. I'm not a master of any of them. I've been on a Tennessee Highway Patrolman, a city police officer. I still hold a paramedic license after 35 years now. So I understand a lot of the stuff of what people go through, how public safety works. I had a lot of exposure with the Highway Patrol, going to different places. I handled a bomb dog and went all over, even to Washington, D.C. I've seen how things supposed to run, different perspectives of how things go in other places. I think as the sheriff, you just got to keep on learning. That's why we have a Tennessee Sheriff's Association. There's 95 sheriffs. You go to these Sheriff's Association meetings, there's sheriffs that's been in office for 40-something years. They've seen a little bit of everything. You lean on their experience and don't be ashamed to ask for advice. Hey, this is what I've got going on in my county. A lot of them has been in similar situations like that. So, as far as doing it, just trying to have an open door, be professional, hold your people to a high standard that's out there, working with their people and trying to be a good leader and be an example to them, which I've tried to do every day.
Okay, Mr. Cameron?
I got 26 years of experience. I've got a bachelor's degree in emergency service management. But in that 26 years of experience, I've worked for 4 sheriffs. Mr. Coffey was one of them. Probably 6 or 7 chiefs at a part-time level. And what I learned is that all of them had things they done really well. And then some of them had some things that they didn't do so well. But I learned from sitting back and watching that who done things that was well and what they did that didn't work out well. So if I'm elected to the sheriff position, I would take what I've learned from the positive, implement that, and do away with the negative.
Okay, one last question. This is a little bit you've already, both of you talked about it. Let's do it again. How will you address drug-related crimes and the rise of child sex crimes in Jefferson County? Got the question? Okay, just before you answer, I'm taking the moderator's prerogative here, Mr. Coffey, Mr. Cameron. We also had a very valuable person in our Jefferson County that is no longer with us, and that was Judge Dwayne Sloan. I meant to say something when Jeremy Ball came up and was introduced. You can be proud of people like Sophie. You can be proud of so many things in Jefferson County. We can be proud of Judge Sloan. Do you realize that Judge Dwayne Sloan won the most prestigious local judge award in the nation? He got the William Rehnquist Award for inventing things like drug courts and all this sort of stuff. When I was on the Board of Medical Examiners a few years ago, I was there with Stephen Lloyd, one of the most effective physicians in addiction in America. And he and Judge Sloan worked together to help us. There is no easy solution to drugs. But they worked hard, and I'll always be grateful for what Judge Sloan did to represent us here in Jefferson County. We can be proud of it. Sorry for that. Hopefully you got a chance to think a little. Go right ahead, Mr. Coffey.
All right, in 2018, that's what I ran on, was the sale of narcotics in our county. Because I alluded to what I said earlier, 90% of the people that's incarcerated over there because of a drug problem. And it's not because they're in there for drug charges. They've been there because they've broke into a house, or they've stolen this, or they've committed some other crime to help support their habit. When I went into office, they was averaging about 190 thefts or burglaries. In the 1 year prior to me coming in, they had 190 burglaries. Last year we had 70. Thefts were like 400 and something. Last year we had 199. That year before I went in office, they had 8 robberies. Last year we had 1. Aggressively attacking the drug issue is what makes the difference. They are the ones that's out there. And it's not only arresting them, but it's getting them into the jail and doing rehabilitations, which we do in there now with programs. But you've got to make every effort to stop that before it happens, because that's what all the crimes come back to. As far as the crimes against children, 15 months ago, we tried to do that when I first went in office. It's a task force issue. They didn't have any room on there, but they expanded it. Now Jefferson City, even Dandridge Police Department, and ourselves have got people on that task force. And what I alluded to earlier about the cell phones and all the access to it. 15 arrests of child pornography. And people said, oh, that, it's just child pornography. It's pictures of kids. It's a lot more than that. The images that they see, I worry about them doing this, because we're not talking about, 8 and 9-year-old kids. We're talking about infants that are being victims of this. So that is our stance on that, and we're going full speed with the internet crimes against children.
Thank you, Mr. Coffey. Now, Mr. Cameron, you've got your time too.
As far as addressing drugs, I think we need to go back to a little something from back in the old days. I remember I had a DARE teacher when I was in school. So I felt like there was a little bit more effort going on in the schools than maybe there is now. I don't know what happened to the DARE program or why it went away. The only problem I would suggest with that is it was addressed toward 5th grade. Most kids these days are getting started on their drugs in high school. I feel like we need to come up with a program or research a program that we can implement at the high school level. And of course, that's dependent on working with the school too, because you got to get around them. But I feel like it's got to be a 3-pronged system. You got to start where the kids are, because that's where everybody starts. Peer pressure pushes everybody toward drugs. And then you have to have an aggressive patrol unit and investigations unit that gets those people off the streets and puts them in there. And I think you have to work on the recidivism. When they end up in there, you don't want them coming back out. If you can, use, and there's multiple sources and programs out there to help try to reduce that recidivism rate. As far as the child pornography and stuff like that, I agree. Cold-heartedly, we want that off, out of here, gone. But I don't think that great big huge facility is the way to do it. I remember when I worked there, Several of those things I took to Sevier County, Knox County. THP CID was the greatest. They actually come to our office, downloaded the device while I was there, and left me with all the data to work on. There's a need for it. I just don't think that facility is the answer. I think the cost of that is significant, and my property taxes has went up significantly, and I barely can afford them now. You know what I mean? It's more than doubled. So I think we have to be real careful on how far we go with cost, because there are multiple other agencies in the county that still need raised. Road department, I've seen what some of them guys was making. It's pretty sad.
Okay. You want a rebuttal? Okay.
Well, I'll say this for about the 20th time. This lab over here is a federal grant that come through. At no time has any taxpayer, and would not even ask the taxpayers. There's 20 agencies that's involved in this, as far as West Johnson City Police Department. And there is no going to other agencies. Sevier County, they use our place. Knox County, I done told you, KPD, they can't do it. So there is no. We're a county of nearly 63,000 people estimates, and we're growing. We can't have somebody else carrying our milk for us, because we're not going to be the priority. When we walk through the door down there, so we need these 2 phones, we got 40 backed up here. We've got something in place, and if Mr. Cameron wins the election, he can go over and shut it down if that's what he pleases to do. But it's going to victimize the people that's involved in this.
Okay. All right. Now, gentlemen, you each get 90 seconds to do your final closing comments to the voters. And let's keep listening, because we're hearing from their hearts. Mr. Coffey.
I wanted to thank the Jefferson County Post. Wanted to thank you from our moderator tonight for your time in doing this. We've had a lot of work to do in the last 8 years, and there's a lot of work to be done and a lot of focus on it. We've seen the reduction in crime. We've seen the reduction in drug use. I mean, we got the stats to prove it. But I can't sit up here as the sheriff and wave a flag and say that I'm totally responsible for that. There's a lot of them that's in this room that wear that badge of the sheriff's office. They dedicate themselves every day going out here and keeping you all safe. Our jail right now, there's correctional officers walking the hallways, doing head counts, delivering meals, that's keeping safe. We've got men and women that'll be there an hour before school starts in the morning. We'll be checking the doors and making sure our students are safe tomorrow. Those are the people I'm thankful for. And I would just ask that coming up on May the 5th, that you would think about those things. And I have an open door. Anytime that you need to speak to me or have a problem, I've always sat down and addressed those. But I want to be a sheriff of the people, that you can come and that we can give you an answer. But I want to thank you for your time.
Okay. And Mr. Cameron.
I agree. Y'all done a wonderful job. Thank you all. I would just say this. I've got the experience right here in this county. I have worked for about every chief that's been in this county. I've worked for multiple sheriffs. I have seen what works and what don't. I have seen what needs to happen and what doesn't happen. If you elect me your sheriff, I will make sure those things happen. And I also believe that you should have a cost analysis basis for running the sheriff's department. If I had an ideal or a plan that cost $1 million that took crime to zero in this county, we would be foolish not to pay for it, because the cost and saving of insurance alone would be wonderful. I don't. I wish I did. If I did, I'd sell it to other people. But I think when you're getting out here doing that, it has to make sense. If you're going to spend a couple $100,000, it needs to show some results. If you're going to spend a couple $1 million, it needs to show a lot of results. So if you let me your sheriff, I'll make sure that the cost is right and the productivity is right.
Thank you, gentlemen. And I want to thank both of you. You answered the questions directly and have given the voters a clear picture of what you want to do. And, you know, Isn't that unusual today in politics? We listen to the national political scene, and they'll dance around every question. So thank you, congratulations for you and our mayoral candidates. Let's give them a round of applause.
That's what rumor is.
See.
Okay. All right. And let's see. I want to kind of take a little split here to introduce three other offices that are running, but they are unopposed. We have, let's see, where's Frank? There he is. Frank Herndon, was our county court clerk. Over here we have Kevin Poe, circuit court clerk. And is that Steiner here tonight?
No.
Okay, all right. Register of Deeds. Would you like to say something?
Just about. Just wanted to welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. It's an honor that you all came out here to hear me introduce myself for 90 seconds, and I appreciate that. And seriously, my wife told me, she said, "You're going to get up there and say who you are and sell something funny, right?" And I said, "Yeah, probably." But it's an honor to serve Jefferson County. It's an honor to work for you day in and day out, and that's what I'm here for. We can't always have a pleasant day in the clerk's office because sometimes you might have some title trouble or some problem, but I can promise you that we'll work together to fix it. You might have to put some work into it, and I might have to put some work into it, but we'll get it done and together, and that's what I'm here for, to intervene on your behalf to the state and to other folks to get problems fixed for you. But honored to serve for the last 12 years, looking forward to the next 4. Thank you very much.
Good. Thank you, Frank. Kevin?
So my name is Kevin Poe. I'm serving you as circuit court clerk. The short version of that title is court clerk, not to be confused with county clerk. I am not, in fact, running against Frank Herndon. However, I would appreciate your vote and support on May 5th. It would please me greatly to have more complimentary votes than he would. I think he is probably the most scary candidate in the county to run against you. So what I would say is, I work at the Justice Center. That's your building. I just keep it clean for you. Do not wait until you get a speeding ticket or jury duty to come see me.
No rebuttal from Frank on that.
No rebuttal. I will not allow it. No rebuttal. No rebuttal. No rebuttal.
Don't listen to what he said. Vote Herndon.
All right, thanks, guys. All right, let's see. We're going to go ahead and move into the trustees race. If I can have the trustee candidates to come up, and we're going to have you all take a seat because there's more of you and we'll just get kind of crowded. So if you'll take a seat, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass around a bag. You're going to reach in, draw a number, and that'll be the order you go into. Okay, we've got one more that's just had to step out for a second. We'll give him a, is that Brian? Okay. That one actually goes up here. I don't know. If you want to use this, turn one of them on. That way you don't get the feedback. And then push your button, you'll have a green light. Green ring means you're on.
I'm glad to see the chairman is lowering the temperature in here.
It frees up in 2 hours, you better hurry.
Okay. I'm not, go ahead.
She's giving all she's got, Captain. All right. And let me grab the bag. That's Somebody will say it myself. All right. We go alphabetical on this or just draw? It doesn't matter on the number ones. All right. Okay, all right. And Tina Rich will go, she is number 2. Michael Fagan has number 4.
Number 1.
And number 1. All right. Now he gets the option, right? I'm doing, or we just go in order on the draws. Okay, all right. Bryant O'Peel is number 1. So we'll go in the order of Bryant O'Peel, Tina Rich, and then Michael Fagan. And we use these numbers again on the next one, because I think we have the exact same number of people. Okay.
All right, did we hear the names? I want to make sure. No? Let's do that one more time. Mr. O'Peel first. Go ahead.
There's Bryant O'Peel, Michael Fagan, and Tina Rich.
Okay, and Tina, you're second, correct?
Correct.
Michael, you're the old cow's tail, how's that?
It's all right.
But you can hear the other two, see, and judge your answer. Okay.
I've been called worse.
Oh, I guarantee you I have. Okay, let's start with our first question, Mr. O'Peel. I'm going to read it twice. This is simple, straightforward. Y'all will have this on the tip of your tongue. What are the primary goals you wish to achieve as county trustee?
Primary goal I wish to achieve as the trustee is to change the culture of leadership within the office. Right now, leadership is indecisive and lacking, and I wish to change that culture of leadership, be there, understand the TCA law, work the relationships I already have established with the department heads within the county and the schools, and work the relationships I already have established with the local financial institutions.
All right, Ms. Rich, same question.
I agree with Mr. O'Peel about the leadership of that office. I can guarantee you that nobody has a better work ethic than I do. I go to work, I do my job, I take care of my employees, and I want to see that the office is run properly. I feel like I have a very good relationship with a lot of people within the county, from the ball field to the grocery store to wherever. I know a lot of people, been around a long time, and that's my goal, is just to see that our trustee's office is run properly.
Thank you, Ms. Rich. Now, Mr. Fagan.
My primary goal with regard to the trustee's office would be to provide leadership. I know you've already heard that, but I want to tell you how I would provide leadership. I would show up on day 1 and every work day after that for you, the citizens of Jefferson County. I would earn what you pay for that position. You can count on me to be in that office. My goal is to make sure that the staff there has the support that they deserve. They do an excellent job. If you've gone in there, they seek to serve very well, but they need support. I would work alongside them, shoulder to shoulder, day in and day out, so we could relieve the burden on you for overtime in that office. Because we have a situation where we're having to pay staff overtime to make up for the fact that leadership is not present in the office. So my goal would be to make sure that leadership is in that office day in and day out for you.
Okay, and I don't see there's any need for rebuttal on those. Let's go with question number 2. And here we are. What improvements would you make to customer service for taxpayers? Read it again. What improvements would you make to customer service for taxpayers? And we'll start with Mr. O'Peel.
Thank you. My first job was customer service. I learned the hard way that if you don't have customer service, people stop coming. We worked at a little store, Super Dollar, if you might remember it. We had a way of trying to triage customers, working to get them in and out, to get them so they felt like they had satisfaction with the service they had as they left. With the trustee's office, it starts with, as Mr. Fagan says, showing up and being there. That office needs 4 people working, especially during property tax season. 4 people need to be working day in and day out. As the county accountant, I work day in and day out. I see the amount of people that come in and need customer service. All of you guys that pay property tax need to be serviced. You need to feel like your money has been receipted in a respectful manner and timely manner. And as your trustee, I will make sure that there's 4 people there working, especially during property tax season. Any other time as well.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Rich.
I can tell you that my career started with customer service at Magnavox years ago. Telephone questions, dealing with people from all over the United States. It wasn't just a hometown job. For the last 20 years, I've worked at Carson Newman. And my job at Carson Newman has been to guide families on how to fund their child's education, the best ways to pay for that, the best ways to avoid debt. And my job is to help those families and ease them through that transition without a lot of angst. At any time, I could have a parent in my office in tears. And I could understand with the elderly, through the trustee's office, you may have that with an elderly person that's having problems with their taxes. It would be my goal to make sure that myself and anybody on my staff would offer that same empathy and that same caring and that same customer service to everybody that walks through that door at any time.
Thank you, Ms. Rich. Mr. Fagan.
I was raised on customer service. I grew up working at B&S Building Supply from the time I was 8 years old. And we built that family-owned business based on customer service. It's ingrained into my very fiber. I don't know how to not interface with people in an empathetic manner in a way that seeks to help them achieve whatever it is they're trying to accomplish, whether it's building a deck, building a house, or taking care of a problem in a government operation, which I have been involved in the public and private sector throughout my career. In preparation, doing diligence for my due diligence before seeking this position, I visited trustee offices in surrounding counties to see what they do. What I found is that with the level of staffing that we should have, if we had leadership there working all day, every day, we should be providing better customer service. We could be providing maybe satellite offices like an adjacent county does to make services more readily available to those who live out further in the county. Perhaps we could do some modernization for how we accept payments and allow folks to pay in an interim fashion, monthly or quarterly. So, because there are surrounding counties that are doing those sorts of things. So how I would evaluate whether we should do those sorts of things or not would be based upon doing an audit. I started my career as an auditor, performance auditor, with the Office of Inspector General for the Department of Energy. It's a lot like a consultant. You go in, you establish what best practices are, what the criteria are, and I'll tell you more about that later maybe.
Thank you, Mr. Fagan. Appreciate you paying attention to time. Okay, we've got 2 more questions. Good answers, candidates. I'm impressed. How important do you think it is for the trustee? How important do you think it is for the trustee to be on site at the office on a regular basis? Okay, we might can make up some time here, but you get your 2 minutes, so Mr. O'Peel, you're first.
I talked to somebody when I first was approached to run, and it was somebody that was in the know. And I asked him, what's the most important thing about being a trustee for Jefferson County? And they told me firmly, it was on the phone, but I almost felt like the person reached through the phone. Show up to work. As the county accountant, for the better part of 7 years, I have showed up to work. There's no excuse. There's no way that I could not show up to work. Things happen. Life happens to you. There's tragedies that happen, and I don't wish that on anybody. But as my father said, you don't wear the black band on your badge forever. You go back to work. So the most important thing, I think, to reflect my other opponents here, is to show up. To be there for the county. For the better part of 7 years, I have. I've been there for the departments. I've been there for the county. I've been there for the people. And I will continue to be there for everybody.
And Ms. Rich, your turn.
I can echo that. I agree that the most important thing is for you to go to work. As I've stated before, for the last 20 years, I've worked at Carson Newman. I have worked 14, 16, 18, 20-hour days. My staff goes home at 4:30 like they're supposed to. I stay to get the job done. I go in on weekends. I'm not afraid to work. I'm not afraid to get the job done. I'm not afraid to roll my sleeves up and get my hands dirty. That's the thing that I've heard the most too as I've been campaigning, is that the public wants somebody to show up and go to work, to do their job, to do what the county has elected them to do, and to do what they're paid to do. And that's what I would do.
Thank you, Ms. Rich. Mr. Fagan.
You've probably heard that 80% of success is showing up. So I want the trustee's office to be a success. So I will most certainly show up for you. You are the reason that I'm running for this office. I've got a heart for public service, and I want to serve you in this capacity. But I want you to know that I also want to show up for that staff that's there, that needs the support, needs somebody to come alongside them and carry that burden. They do a great job. I don't know if you've been in there and talked to these folks, but they really advocate for you. And as I mentioned, I've done some due diligence in talking with trustees around the region. And our staff has had to reach out to them for guidance because they did not have leadership in the office. Our staff is having to work excessive overtime. You're having to pay it because you don't have a leader in the office. So being present is of paramount importance in the office, and it's a matter, in my opinion, of appreciation and respect for the taxpayers that, in essence, hire you. We're applying for a job here, let's be honest about it. And you guys are the Personnel Selection Committee, and you're getting ready to vote, and you're going to vote to hire somebody to be your full-time trustee. And I would like to think, based on the work ethic that I have, because I don't know how not to work, if you wanted to ask some folks that are here in this audience from the city of Bainbury, they could tell you, they see my car at City Hall all hours of the day and night and on weekends, getting the job done, whatever that takes. And I will bring that same work ethic to work for you.
Thank you, Mr. Fagan. Okay. One more question, and then you'll get a chance at your final statement. What experience, this is good, because we've heard some good answers from these candidates, haven't we? I mean, you know, these people have done their homework and they've thought about why they want to be the trustee, but this is one that really might give you an edge as a voter in how that they're going to handle the job of a trustee. What experience uniquely qualifies you to manage the trustee's office? And we'll start with Mr. Opie.
Thank you. My unique experience is that I have a very good relationship with the chief deputy and with everybody else that is working in that office. For the past 6 years, I've been working as the county accountant. I balance the books for the trustee. They send a monthly trustee report. That's all the revenue that the county takes in. I balance those books, and in agreement with the trustee's office, I post it. The other experience I have is for 12 years, I was chief financial officer for a very big brokerage in Knoxville that handled all of TVA's nuclear valve systems. It was a lot of money. It was a lot of zeros all the time, but I'm not afraid of that. As far as work, I'm not afraid of that, but I champion these two for their work ethic and working for all hours. But efficiency is what we really need in the trustee's office. We don't need people working 12, 20 hours a week. We don't need people there on the weekends. We need 4 people there, 8 to 4, getting the job done while people come in to pay their taxes. I can do that. I have been doing that at the finance department. I would ask your vote to carry me over to the trustees department and run that department that way. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Rich.
With my position, I currently, for the last 5 years, have been responsible for a budget of over $54 million in financial aid. That consists of federal aid, state aid, and institutional aid. With those dollars, I'm also charged by the federal government to meet certain standards, to balance budgets, to make sure we stay within the numbers that we're given, to make sure that we don't violate any kind of laws that are set up for each one of the awards that we handle. In addition, I'm also the state person, so in addition to my job as the director, I also handle all of the state programs, budgeting, balancing, all the institutional endowed scholarships. So I'm not afraid to handle big budgets. I'm not afraid to balance. I'm not afraid to tell somebody no if they're going over their budget. I'm also not afraid to say yes if I've got money in an account that's available that I can help somebody out. Like Bryant said, it's great to be able to work 8 to 4 and go home, and that's what my goal would be for the office. But like I said, I'm not afraid to stay and do what needs to be done to take care of that office and see that the job's done for you.
Thank you, Ms. Rich. Mr. Fagan.
Large budgets. When I was an auditor for the Inspector General's office, I audited programs that were hundreds of millions of dollars. As Director of Facilities for the school system, I handled and budgeted for and managed millions of dollars in budget. Also projects that were millions of dollars in budget. So it sounds like large numbers are not anything that would be an aversion for any of the three of us. But when it comes to unique qualifications, I think that what would be most important for you to know is that as city manager for the city of Bainbury, I'm responsible for all financial activities, including being the treasurer, which is very much like being a trustee. One of the things that I do in that role is that I'm responsible for investing funds. And in doing so, I implemented a strategy when I first took over to invest funds. And that strategy was so successful, it generated enough revenue that it allowed the citizens of Bainbury to avoid a tax increase. So I know not only how to manage budgets, develop budgets, audit big numbers, I know how to raise revenue to lessen the burden on taxpayers, which is one of the primary functions of the trustee.
All right, now we get 90 seconds apiece to tell the voters why you should be the next Jefferson County trustee. We'll start with Mr. O'Peel.
Thank you. Thank you for everything. This has been, it's been education. My name is Bryant H. O'Peel, and I'm running for trustee. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. My parents ended their marriage when I was 5. I tell you that because I want you to know where I learned leadership. I ended up at 7 with 4 active parents, 5 sisters, and a cat. So, what's that mean? Well, my father was a deputy sheriff for Broward Sheriff's Department in Florida. He was the night sergeant. I first learned leadership through him. He was night sergeant. The lieutenants were gone, the captains were gone, it was him. He used to tell us he was the only person that kept from one bad decision being made. My mother was a sales rep, and then she was also a real estate agent, and now she runs basically Bass Pro. Anytime you see visuals at Bass Pro at 407, my mom's done them. My stepmother was a hairdresser, and now she runs a bed and breakfast in New Hampshire. And my father was a builder. My stepdad was a builder. So I say all that for leadership. I watched my parents lead, sacrifice. That's what I'm going to bring to the trustees department. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Peel. Ms. Rich?
I'm Tina Rich, and I am respectfully asking for your vote for trustee. I feel like I can bring to the table empathy, I can bring to the table leadership, and I can bring to the table the grit to get the job done. I can't give you a big elaborate speech. I'm not a very verbose person. I just like to tell you how it is. If you elect me, I'll do the job, and I'll do it to the best of my ability, and I'll do what you ask me to do.
Thank you, Ms. Rich. Mr. Fagan?
I hope maybe you all have seen some of the signs around our county that say, "I'll be there for you," associated with my sign. There's a reason that I chose that. I'll be there. Obviously, we've discussed being there and why that's important. But why do I want to be there? It's for you. I have a heart for service, public service. Had it my whole life. I graduated from Jefferson County High School back in the 80s. I went into the Army, served there for various posts overseas, a place called the Fulda Gap. I had a life expectancy about 2 hours if war broke out at that time. Went to work for the Inspector General when I graduated college, fighting waste, fraud, and abuse for the citizens. When I moved back here, my wife and I, to raise our family, I coached youth sports. I got involved with the Lions Club, civically minded, ran for the school board, served this county as a school board member. Then I ran for the county commission and served this county as a county commissioner. And now I'm seeking to serve you again as a trustee. And I want to deliver dedicated, dependable service. I will be present, and you can trust that I will be worthy of your vote, because I'll be there for you is not just a campaign slogan. It is my commitment to you.
Thank you, Mr. Fagan. Now, all 3 of these have given us some very good answers tonight, and I think that you as voters can get a much clearer picture of who you wish to vote for. So let me congratulate all 3 of you, Mr. O'Peel, Mr. Fagan, Ms. Rich, for staying on topic. Thank you very much. So let's give them a round of applause. Thank you.